It's time for this week's CEO's vlog, and John Dumacy is joining me, and you have some news regarding the Harness Racing New South Wales board.
Well, we have a new board member. Peter Nugent was nominated to the Minister, Troy Grant, after an exhaustive exercise in finding the right person, and Peter certainly is the right person. The other board members nominated him to Troy, and it passed through to Cabinet late last week, and we are able to announce that Peter is the new member. Now, Peter has a long background in harness racing. He's a devotee, and he's pledged to service the punters, the owners, the breeders, the trainers, the drivers, the clubs, everybody he possibly can to take our great sport forward. So congratulations, Peter Nugent.
Yeah, he has served on harness racing boards previously, hasn't he?
Boards and committees throughout the western part of New South Wales. So he brings with him a hell of a lot of knowledge, but more so a hell of a lot of enthusiasm and passion for our great sport.
Okay, well, talking about new things at Harness Racing New South Wales, there's a new policy regarding abandoned race meetings and races.
Yes, it's, the abandoned race meetings are due to weather is not anything new, but the other aspect is races abandoned after they've started. Now, in the last month or so, we've had two races such as that at Maitland and Tamworth. So the board considered these position and have made the announcement that where a race meeting is abandoned due to rain, horses which have arrived on course after the official arrival time, the owners will receive $200 from the unplaced unfunded prize money pool. Whilst in the event where races are actually started, there is a fall or whatever, and the race is abandoned and not rerun, the drivers, they've always been paid because they've actually performed the service of going out on the track, but the owners also will receive $200 there, net of the driver's fee. So it's a clear $200 to the owners. Now, the arrangements between the owners and the trainers with regard to travel, etc., well, that will be business for themselves. But at least it's a step forward. It's been sitting there for far too long. The catalyst was those two falls at Tamworth and Maitland, so we have a position.
Yeah, oh, good stuff. All right, John, well, look, some people are starting to slow down for this time of year, but harness racing, particularly in New South Wales, isn't. There's plenty of Carnival of Cups meetings coming up over the next week.
There are, and when we talk about slowing down, the team that doesn't slow down are the trainers and the drivers, and also the team at Harness Racing New South Wales, the handicappers and the stewards who work right through this period. But the big meeting coming up, of course, is the Shirley Turnbull Memorial at Bathurst. It's always a great meeting. Generally raced in the best of weather, and it's lovely weather in Bathurst on Boxing Day, so that's there. There is a non-TAB meeting, of course, at Dubbo, which is really traditional, and we also have the heats of the Breeders' Plate and Leeton, and it's pleasing to say that it appears that they will get two heats. They might be small in numbers, but two heats there, and they'll move on to the following week when we'll have the final at on New Year's Day. Before New Year's Day, you've got to get to Albury for the fireworks, and of course Parks also. So some great Carnival Cups meetings coming up and some fantastic racing. Okay,
John, well, before I let you go, the Breeders' Challenge Review, there's been an update with that?
Yes, through the New South Wales Breeders Association and others, the petition went to the board that perhaps this is too busy a time of the year for people to actually put in time to those submissions, and they need to be very, very well articulated. So that's actually been pushed right out to April 30. So I encourage people to put in submissions. The last time when we called for the review, it covered all areas, but only really centred on the race series, and the responses weren't that great in number. Very significant in points, but not that great in numbers. So this gives everybody plenty of time to actually put pen to paper or tap away on the keyboard and send us their thoughts on the eligibility of the horses in the Breeders' Challenge, and of course also the very important redemption of the bonuses. As we know, the owners receive cash, the breeders receive a certificate. Is that right? Is that wrong? What are the requirements? We're looking forward for that sort of contribution.
Okay, well, John, this is the last CEO's blog before Christmas.
Yeah, last CEO's blog, and I wish everybody a really fantastic Christmas, a wonderful Christmas. It's the best time of the year, and may we get through that with peace and joy and goodwill to all men and horses.
And women.
And women too. Nearly forgot. Talking about women, Amanda, we've got the Teal Pants promotion coming on again in February, and I know you and Kate are right behind that, and we've got mini trotters involved this year, the girls in the mini trotters, and our very, very fine lady drivers. So Harness Racing New South Wales is looking forward to contributing as much as possible, along with Tabcorp, towards the women's cancer research.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic period. So thanks for that. Thanks for the CEO's blog, John. And I guess we'll catch up again next week after Christmas.
We certainly will, Amanda. And you'll have a wonderful Christmas. Greg Hayes, who filled in for you, as I say, filled in for you. You've taken over that role. Thank you for him for the past year, and thank you everybody for their contributions.